Avinash, you're back here with us for another year in a row.
I'm back.
You're back, and it feels so familiar and so friendly. Thank you for being here.
Such a pleasure, as always.
Just a while ago, you were asking questions to the panelists on stage.
That's
now
right.
it's my turn.
I become the esteemed panelist.
Yes.
That's true.
This topic of this year is, I don't want to say different, but it's, I feel, ahead of all the other topics we spoke about, obviously, but because now we're talking about resilience, not only hyper-resilience, not only protecting the space,
That's right.
not only predicting, but going a step further.
Sure.
So tell us more about that, and why is that so important today particularly?
Great. So I learned this on the panel, and that was the whole intent, right? Or let's rephrase, I derived this from the panel discussion because, hyper-resilience as a concept is new. It's not, the kingdom has actually pioneered this concept, and although you can research it online, the ones that have actually started to put it into practice are the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I mean the companies here, the organizations here. And so today, when you look at that traditional Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, or the security, resilience, hyper-resilience, or the detection, protection, what is that next question mark, right? What you're asking is that adaptive, predictive defense. And that's really what it's all about from the understanding that we derived and understood today from the panel. What does that mean? Adaptive, predictive defense. It's about leveraging advanced technologies to be able to predict when you'll be attacked, how you'll be attacked, why you'll be attacked, where you'll be attacked, so you can stop the attack before it actually happens, right? And then adapt accordingly your defenses to ensure the attack doesn't happen. Now you say, why today? Fundamentally because the tools that allowed us to do that detection and prediction and let's call it adaptive detection didn't exist until the world of AI. And this whole advent of AI that has taken the world by storm over the last couple of years has now come to fruition in the world of cybersecurity. And there's a lot of different contexts around AI, of course, different use cases, but fundamentally, today AI allows us to have this concept of hyper-resilience, being able to use AI in tools, in defenses, in compliance, in regulations to be able to predictively detect against attacks. And that's where the concept of hyper-resilience comes from. So AI and the advent of it and its timing in today's day and age is the reason why this concept is coming around today.
And it's so interesting because I'm having conversations with different experts and they're looking at AI differently under today's context. I mean, some of them are completely for the pros and some of them are very much for the cons.
Sure.
It's a balance, I get it.
Of
But how can we ensure safe usage for AI in organizations?
The billion-dollar question, right? I think this is like the topic of discussion on everyone's mind today. There's no right or wrong answer, of course, right? I think today we need to understand that AI in its current form cannot truly be effectively used without human engineering, right? Without human involvement. Even if you tune it to the best ability in the world, it's not a conscious being, right? It's not, sentient. Okay, there's no Terminator walking around, right? I hope that doesn't happen anytime soon. But jokes aside, that AI today is a enabler. It's a facilitator. It's a intelligence provider to be able to do things better, more conveniently, faster, in real time, and learn to ensure that we can continuously keep that improvement happening, right? So I think that's a long-winded answer to share with you, but the reality is that I don't think human involvement around the concept or context of AI is going away anytime soon, okay? Now, of course, innovation in today's day and age is so rapid, things change so quickly, the progressive people are thinking about using AI in every possible way. Definitely it will start to create a clear and present danger in some capacity in the near future. But it's impossible to predict the future. I don't have a crystal ball, sadly. I wish I could use hyper-resilient AI to predict what's going to come. But I can only tell you that in today's age, AI is an enabler. It is also something that we should be able to be aware of because attackers are also using AI to enable themselves, right? So we need to be able to defend against those more advanced threats because
Yes.
now they have AI to help them and support them
Both
in
the
their
sides
threats.
are using it.
Not necessarily, and that's the problem. If attackers are using AI, so should defenders.
Okay.
And that's critical, right? So there needs to be a fair fight in all fairness. And we need to innovate around AI and use AI appropriately to be able to provide a better defense, frankly, than attackers. I think this is probably the first time in technology history where we have a tool that could potentially allow us to keep pace with the attackers or have a closer position against the attacker, because usually they're always ahead and we're always catching up. And that's why technology keeps changing so rapidly, because we're playing catch up. But today with AI, I do believe we are almost in this position.
Closer proximity, yeah.
Look, attackers are always going to find new and innovative ways to threaten and defenses. But I do think we are at closer proximity to being equally able to defend their attacks.
Interesting, very interesting. You mentioned earlier, we were speaking about hyper-resilience, and then you mentioned the kingdom as an example. What role do you think governments, rules, regulations play in creating, just like you said on stage, an alignment or more of a unification between organizations on that level of resilience?
There's a lot of different questions in your question, so I'll just try and summarize here. Look, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has really, over the last several years, been a pioneer in the cybersecurity space. With the NCA, with SAMA, with the regulatory authorities, and them, releasing the frameworks and the regulations for cybersecurity, they're really advanced in terms of maturity, right? And this has just changed the maturity, the state of cybersecurity within the kingdom, both in the enterprise and the government organizations. It's so refreshing to see such a high caliber state of cybersecurity leaders, as well as security systems and the state footprints within the organizations. Now, it's important that Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, being right in the center of a large region that we are in, with a lot of geopolitics around, they get the fact that cybersecurity is a fundamental threat vector, right? They are putting these regulations in place to ensure that boards of organizations and CISOs are collaborating. They are putting regulations in place to ensure that there are private-public partnerships. They're providing ecosystems for vendors to collaborate, for organizations to collaborate. And fundamentally, that is how you provide a safer world, right? Through this collaboration and regulation. So I think that it's a combination of, it's a blend or a convergence of regulation, compliance, collaboration, and then just having that right mindset, right? And that's why when I say hyper-resilience as a concept, if you go and research it today, you'll find it's used only in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Although the definition exists somewhere online, but this is where they're using it today, which kind of shows that kind of be ahead of the curve, be ahead of the game approach. And I think all three of those need to be put together to continue this leadership position in cybersecurity.
Well, thank you for that answer. I know I asked you 3 questions in one,
That's okay.
but that was fun. Every year you come and sit on this chair with me and you give me so much information.
Pleasure.
What do you think next year is going to be about? And
You're
I know
asking me to predict the future again.
it's an uncertain space, and it's ever changing. But
look, if I can guess, and obviously I am no crystal ball,
from your expertise,
data privacy, data security posture management are 2 areas which are fundamentally pieces of all these different puzzles.
Okay.
And data privacy is coming in a big way. Okay. Now, AI is also another big topic, so I think that's going to continue its momentum for a while. So I think somewhere between AI and data privacy and everything in between is what we're going to see next year.
I'm looking forward to seeing you next year and seeing what you have to say.
Looking forward to being here next year.
Thank you for your time,
Thank you so much
Avinash.
for your time. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.